The Ritz Carlton card has been having its moment this year. If you haven't heard, it's a premium card that's offered by Chase, kind of in a backdoor manner that seemingly has little downside with a mild $450 annual fee, and it gives you access for you and two guests to both the Priority Pass and the Chase Sapphire lounges. Additionally, it also gives you a free night certificate worth 85,000 Marriott points and more. But with all these highlights, we should still be suspicious and really evaluate. Is this card worth pursuing for you? And that's what we're covering today. And I'll share with you my personal experience and the lens that I really look at this card with. And my name is Michael, by the way, and I simplify credit card strategies so anybody can learn to book their bucket list vacations with points. So first, let's get into the cost of this card. I mentioned the $450 annual fee, but there's two more costs at play here: time and opportunity. What I mean by time is that this card requires you to be patient for at least a full year. The Chase Ritz Carlton card is no longer open for new applications, so you can only get this card by upgrading another Marriott card from Chase. So the process would be to get one of the three Marriott cards from Chase, which I personally would recommend the Bond Void Boundless because it tends to have the better ROI in terms of annual fee and sign up bonus. However, you could also either get the Marriott Bold, which has no annual fee, or the Bountiful, which has a $250 annual fee. But once you obtain one of these cards, you'll have to wait a full year until your card anniversary, and it's at that point that you can call Chase just using the number on the back of the Marriott card, and you ask to upgrade your card to a Ritz Carlton one. Now, in order to be eligible for this, in addition to the year that you have to wait, you also need to have a credit limit of $10,000. So if you're shy a few thousand, you can move credit from an existing Chase card, something like a Freedom or Southwest card even works, and you can just move a few thousand or whatever you need to your Marriott card to reach that $10,000 threshold. And the representative can do that just for you on the phone, and then they will proceed to upgrade from there. There's no credit pull for this, by the way, and it's the same account, so it'll be the same card number. It's really that easy. Now, the second cost here is opportunity, because if you haven't noticed, there are Marriott cards offered from both Chase and American Express, but there are a lot of complicated rules that tells you when you can earn a bonus from one bank and then how long you have to wait before you can get it from the opposite bank, and etc. Now, let me try to make this concise for you. Once you're holding the Ritz Carlton card, and while you're holding it, you cannot earn a sign-up bonus from American Express's Marriott cards. So if you don't have any Marriott cards and you really want to maximize bonuses from American Express and Chase, it's going to require a lot of time. But in case you're crazy like that, here's the sequence. If you were to start today in 2026, what you'd want to do is get the Chase Boundless card. From there, you'll wait 24 months from getting that bonus. So we're talking 2028. You then get the Marriott Brilliant Personal card, which is the better one that American Express has. And then if you wanted to, you can also get the Marriott Business card from American Express. You'd get both of those within the same year as quickly as you're comfortable applying to those back to back. And then after you get those two cards, you'd upgrade your Chase Boundless card to the Ritz Carlton card. Then if you are really feeling crazy, you can wait 24 months from the time you get your last Marriott Amex card bonus and get another Chase Boundless card to hold four Marriott cards at once. Your two Amex ones and the Ritz Carlton card, and then another Boundless at the end there. So that's the what and the how you can go about it. If you're curious about the why, the reasoning behind this crazy timing is there. It's because, like I said, Chase and Amex, they don't play nice together. So once you get a bonus from one bank's Marriott card, you can't get a bonus from the opposite bank for 24 months. So with that said, if you already have or have had an Amex Marriott card, then you'll want to be sure it's been 24 months since you've gotten the bonus before you try to go for the Ritz Carlton card by applying for the Chase Marriott Boundless. And then, like I mentioned earlier, once you have the Ritz Carlton card, while you're holding it, you cannot get the bonuses for the Amex Marriott cards. You'll have to either downgrade or cancel the Ritz card 30 days, and then you can go and get those Amex bonuses from there. All right, now, so is that all as clear as mud? Thank God YouTube has a rewind function, am I right? But anyways, you might be wondering, which route did I take? Well, I'll get to that. Let's first circle back to some of those benefits I mentioned earlier to really sweeten the prize here. Also, don't forget to subscribe if this has been helpful so far. It helps a lot, and points and miles is all we talk about here, so stick around, why don't you? But anyway, I mentioned the 85,000 anniversary certificate. Let me break the bad news now. You won't get that certificate until your next card anniversary. So after a full year that you you hold the Ritz card. So don't get excited too soon. But it's still nice because the 85,000 point certificate is a big upgrade from the 35,000 points you get from the Boundless. And you could top that off still with 15,000 extra points to book a 100,000 point room. Now, admittedly, depending on where you're going, you still may be getting a mid-range room for that price. And then it's also worth noting that it's for a single night. You can use the certificate. It's not like you can use it to book 2 nights at a 40,000 point room. Now, that's enough about the certificate. So let's get into some of our other benefits, starting off with the $300 annual airline incidental credit, which per the terms of this card is to be used for airline lounge day pass or towards a yearly lounge membership of your choice, airline seat upgrades, airline baggage fees, in-flight entertainment, internet, in-flight meals, and things of that nature. And so my recommendation for you is to simply take a flight and buy everyone on the plane a drink. Just make sure that I'm on it first. Just kidding. It's potentially a lot more flexible than that. In fact, it is a lot more flexible than that. I'll link an article in the description that shares what kind of things have been reimbursed for other people in the past. So be sure to check that down in the description and the pinned comment. The thing to note here is that it's not an automatic statement credit. You'll need to call or send a secure message via your Chase account to get this credit applied. And honestly, I had a hard time figuring out how to send this message online, but what you'll need to do is just simply get on your desktop or your laptop, not the app on your phone, but you just click on the question mark in the top right hand corner and then select send us a message. And then you'll have 3 prompts that'll ask you one by one, and you just select the options or the answers that I have on the screen right now to get this text box to show up. And once you get this text box to show up, you simply just ask, can I apply my incidental travel credit to X transaction on Y date for an upgrade or seat selection, etc. And that's it. They've gotten back to me as soon as the same day with the statement credit following soon afterwards. Easy peasy. Now, the next benefit is that you also get automatic gold status and 15 elite nights every calendar year towards future status, which stacks with any other Marriott cards you have. And so that's nice if you're into the whole status game. Now, some negligible to me benefits, which may actually move the needle for some of you, include 3 club level upgrade certificates each year for the Ritz Carlton Club, and a $100 hotel credit for qualifying dining, spa, or other hotel recreational activities. The issue I have with it and why I don't plan on using it is that it's for paid stays only, and I'm not yet balling enough or willing to pay for a Ritz Carlton stay, and you might be, and if so, this could be a serious value add for you. And then you also have some other perks that are nice to have that you can expect to see with a lot of these premium cards, including a primary rental car coverage of up to $75,000, global entry credit, status with Avis, National, and Hertz, solid trip cancellation, insurance interruption, trip delay reimbursement, lost luggage, extended warranty, blah, blah, blah. All those good travel perks you like in a premium travel card, which rival that of the Amex Platinum, the Venture X, and other cards out there. Oh, and there's the lounge access I mentioned earlier. You get access to the Priority Pass lounges and the Chase Sapphire lounges for you and 2 guests for free. Additionally, with this card, you get free authorized users who get their own lounge access, and they get 2 free guests as well. And this 2 free guest restriction was actually just implemented. Previously, card holders were able to bring unlimited guests, which is crazy. And now I know people get a little red alert and weird when talking about bringing so many guests into a lounge, but these are the rules for now. I'm happy the changes weren't more restrictive, but we'll see what the future holds. So if by now you're not convinced about getting this card, that's okay. You're probably right about it and you shouldn't get it. Personally, I don't care if you get it or not, and I say this with love, of course. The point is that now you know about this card and its benefits. So if you do have a Chase Marriott card, or if you get one in the future, and the time comes where you're thinking about canceling it, now you'll give it a second thought, and you'll remember, maybe I should keep this in case I have a desire to get the Ritz Carlton card someday. And boom, you'll be ready. And that's exactly what happened to me. I got the Boundless card 3 to 4 years ago, and I heard about the Ritz Carlton card at the time, but I had no desire to get it. I already had a premium card, and so I thought about canceling the Boundless because I don't love Marriott to begin with, but I said, let me just keep it just in case. And now it's serving as my primary luxury card for lounge access. So yes, truthfully, I'm only keeping this card for the lounge access, the free night certificate, and the $300 airline credit. The other benefits are a wash for me. And so with all this said, and I kind of hinted at it earlier, this card might look very different maybe even a year from now. Even with the most recent devaluation with the lounge access, I wouldn't be surprised if they did make it more restrictive or some other negative change down in the future that would make this more of a turnoff. And so like everything in the points and miles world, get while the getting's good if it makes sense for you. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Don't forget to check out some other helpful videos I have on this channel all about points and miles. And YouTube thinks you'll like either of these videos, and I'll see you in the next one.